More than 6 million children under the age of 3 spend some or part of their day being cared for by somebody other than their parents. Let's take a look at what this means. To understand this, we first must take a look at the role of relationships in a baby's development. From the beginning, learning happens in relationship. Each infant enters this world literally wired to connect. Infants like Ted rely on their ability to connect to and convey their needs to adults who care for them. From the very first breath of an infant's life, it's shaped by the relationships they have with others, and it's through these relationships that infants like Ted begin to define who they are. From the very beginning, Ted's reaching out and connecting with his world. Over and over again, Ted will do something and his father responds. For instance, when Ted makes a sound, his father responds and adds to that sound. He may reach towards an object and his father responds and names that object. This happens over and over. As this process is repeated, Ted is learning that life is predictable. He's figuring out that when he does something, the adults around him respond. Through this process, he's learning about emotions and bonds form between him and his parents. It's this close relationship with his parents that creates a secure base for Ted. Infants like Ted learn that the world is a place that they can trust that their needs will be met. This security allows them to focus on learning and exploring, and that happens as they move into toddlerhood. In the first year, deep attachments, relationships, create and build the trust in the world that an infant needs. Infants like Tori also begin to manage or self-regulate their emotion with the help of these trusted adults. Beginning in infancy, Tori's learning how to soothe herself and calm down and fall asleep on her own. As Tori grows and becomes more mobile, entering the toddler years, these bonds or attachments create a safety net from which she can explore her world. She can test the boundaries, knowing that her parents will be there to keep her safe. These deep relationships with her parents create attachments that support her to have confidence and trust in the world. Not only do they create the safety that a toddler like Tori needs, but they also provide her context for learning about the world. She's literally testing or trying things, and based on the responses of those around her, learns what to do and how to interpret emotions. It's through this process that she is beginning to explore and construct an image of the world. It is through these attachments that a child learns that the world is secure or not, if they are lovable or not, and how they can or can't affect others. This process determines self-confidence and a sense of competence. Preschoolers identify themselves as deserving of loving attention and feel encouragement to succeed when they have these strong attachments. The world is a place of opportunities and possibilities just waiting for them. They see themselves as capable and having ability to impact others. This is really what it's all about, supporting children to thrive and succeed through these bonds, attachments, through these deep relationships. Given what we know about the relationships and the role they play in a child's developing an understanding of the world and the people around them, let's think about what happens when those relationships are disrupted. Consider what would happen if they're not predictable, or they don't last, or they're negative. Children without these secure attached relationships with their caregivers are harder to soothe. They may have more extreme emotions. They are also more challenging to teach. They lack connection to the teachers. They don't feel connected to others, and they may struggle to be part of groups and lack social skills to interact with their peers. When children like Tori and Ted form positive bonds, these attached relationships to their parents, and build their confidence and skills, they have the skills to build relationships with other caregivers, and with each relationship, it's critical that there be time to form these trusting bonds essential to support development. Tori and Ted may spend their days in early childhood programs, and if they do, life can be full of transitions and disruptions. With each transition, there's a loss and a challenge to reconnect. From home to school, when changes happen during the day, and when they're reunited with their parents at the end of the day, there's a potential to be disrupted. This is critical to consider given the 6 million children under the age of 3 who spend all or part of their days being cared for by somebody other than their parents. It's essential to support these important relationships. How can we ensure that infants, toddlers, and their families have opportunities to build relationships? The good news is that as early educators, we can take steps to prevent disruptions and provide consistent responsive relationships that infants and toddlers like Tori and Ted need to realize their full potential. One way is to keep the same caregiver and children throughout the day and over time together. Another is small groups. Additionally, as children grow, they form relationships with their peers and families and connect to other families. Tori became part of this community in her early childhood program and is fortunate to be with the same children and staff over time. By keeping the group and staff consistent, deep relationships formed. In addition to taking steps to structure programs to allow teachers and children to stay together, as early educators, we can also support the bonds between parents and their children, be warm and responsive to children's needs, engage in meaningful interactions with children, and be emotionally available. In other words, we need to be in relationship with families and children. Relationships matter. They support positive early development that results in socially competent children, ready for school and ready for life. Consistent attachments to caring adults is the key. It's through these relationships that infants and toddlers like Tori and Ted and countless others make sense of the world.